welcome to the No Spin News, Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. Stand up for your country. Well, Hurricane Milton bearing down on Florida. We'll have the latest for you, but it is a very intense political story as well, not just a storm, and we're going to get into that. We have, I think, the most truthful analysis of the hurricane politics situation that anybody has. You know, it astounds me that millions of Americans, not too many compared to the population, 335 million of us here in this country, and about, I don't know, maybe 5-6 million check out cable news every night. So it's not really much percentage-wise, but you're not going to get the truth. You're just not. And why people do it every day, if you can explain it to me, I'd like to know. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com. Anyway, we're going to tell you the truth tonight. As far as we know, we always back up everything we say. But first, the talking points memo. Bob Woodward book Hysteria. Now, I've known Woodward for decades. He's a talented writer, uses way too many anonymous sources, makes money hating Trump. He's got 5 hate Trump books out there. And let's see if I'm right, that's about $20 million that he's made for each off hating Donald Trump. It's an industry. That's what Bob Woodward does. Is he a bad reporter? No, he was in a Watergate situation. He did very, very good work there. But, he's churning out product for Simon & Schuster, which is a very liberal publishing house. He's giving them what they want, and he's giving his liberal audience what they want, and he's using anonymous sources. So if you're going to read Bob Woodward's book, you need to know all of that, okay? So Woodward is not only bashing Trump in this book, but he bashes Biden too. And he's shrewd enough to know he had to do that. And the media picks it up, but picks up the anti-Trump stuff, which with much more gusto, okay? And now, one of the things that, and we don't have a full definition of this yet, but Woodward alleges that Trump made a series of phone calls to Putin. And in those calls, he offered to send Putin a COVID testing kit for the dictator's personal use. We have confirmed that Putin did get such a kit. The Russian government says, yes, we got a COVID testing kit from the United States. I can't imagine Trump putting it in the mail. I don't know how that would even go. But anyway, the media is running wild with this, and Kamala Harris was asked about it yesterday on the radio. Go.
What did you think of this thing that just came out today, that Bob Woodward's book was saying that Trump was sending COVID tests to Putin, and Putin said, don't let anyone know. I mean, what is going on? What do you make of that?
So I actually said it even in the debate. I believe that Donald Trump has this desire to be a dictator. He admires strong men, and he gets played by them because he thinks that they're his friends.
All right, well, thank you for the psychoanalysis, which is a bunch of garbage. So let's just break this down. Number one, is it a bad thing that Trump and Putin get along? Not for the country. I couldn't get along with him. Putin, he's a murderer. All right, he's evil. So I couldn't associate with him. But if I were president of the United States, I wouldn't want to alienate Putin unnecessarily. I would want to be able to deal with him. And Trump did deal with him. Putin did not invade Ukraine or Crimea under Trump's watch. We all know that. And they have some kind of back and forth, whether it's based on they both want to be dictators, whether there's a dictator club, which trades dictator secrets. I don't know. But I do know that if Trump's elected, the Ukraine war will stop. I don't know how. Trump hasn't said it, but there'll be some kind of ceasefire. I'm 100% sure of that. Whereas if Harris gets elected, Putin's not going to stop anything. So I know that. And Trump sending a COVID testing kit to Putin doesn't bother me. Maybe it should. Maybe it should. Okay? So is this a big deal? Well, not to me. Is it a big deal for you? So the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, says, yeah, Putin and Trump spoke occasionally, but there were no phone calls about any policy, okay? Because that would be a violation of the Logan Act. What is the Logan Act? All right, here it is. It makes it illegal for U.S. citizens, not elected politicians, to engage in unauthorized diplomacy with foreign countries with intent to influence measures or conduct of a foreign government or to defeat the measures of the United States. And that makes perfect sense. All right, so Logan Act is its origin, late 18th century foreign policy, conflict with France during the Federalist-dominated John Adams administration. And it's a good act. You know, people running around undermining the U.S. government, but all ex-presidents, former presidents, talk to leaders overseas. All of them do. Every single one of them. But as long as they're not undermining policy, it's fine. So Trump talks to Orban in Hungary. I'm sure he talks to other members of the EU. President of Poland, I know he talks to. Nothing wrong with it. And they're making a press make a big deal. And Woodward's lucky because it'll sell him some books, right? So this is another ginned up political story. It has no meaning for you, for me. It's just a fabrication of the United States of propaganda, which is where we are. The media hates Trump. They've always hated. They always will. Trying to get Kamala elected. And that's the memo. Okay? Here's the schedule. So President Biden, who's not running the country anymore, and I told this to Sean Hannity on the radio today. We posted that on BillO'Reilly.com. Biden's not in charge of this country. Nobody is. Nobody's running the country right now. All right? So Biden is get a briefing on the hurricanes. We got Milton coming. We got Helene already devastating in the South, and he's getting a briefing. Okay. Kamala's in on that briefing. Very good. Harris is going to Las Vegas for a town hall with Univision tomorrow. Trump's going to Scranton, Pennsylvania, where I started my career at Channel 16 in Scranton. Very fond memories of it. Okay. For a rally tonight. Let's go to storm politics. All right. So both sides are accusing the other of doing untoward things regarding the hurricanes. I don't have any FEMA hard data. Did FEMA deny the aid it should have? I don't have anything to prove that. Was the response late in Asheville, North Carolina? It was. No doubt about that. And I believe that'll tilt North Carolina to Trump. But other places, I don't know. On it, and it will define itself. But the politicians are each pointing at each other. Okay. But here's the most interesting part of this story, and you will not hear it anywhere else. If you do hear these two sound bites I'm going to play you anywhere else, please tell me. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. First soundbite is Kamala Harris on October 7th, criticizing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for not returning her call. Go.
People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
1 day later, President Biden said this. Go.
The governor of Florida has been cooperative. He said he's gotten all that he needs. I talked to him again yesterday, and I said, no, you're doing a great job. It's all being done well. We thank you for it. And I literally gave my personal phone number to call.
There you go. Okay? See, politics is BS. You know it is. But that is stunning. Got Harris attacking DeSantis. You got Biden, her boss, still. And DeSantis doing a great job. Again, you hear it somewhere else? Please let me know where. All right, here's the latest. Category 4, Hurricane Milton bearing down, expected to make landfall this evening, Wednesday, near Sarasota, Florida. Nice town, Sarasota. It's supposed to be Category 3, 125-mile-an-hour winds, tides up to 12 feet. You know, that's a damage right there on anybody who's close. Could go as far south as Naples. Could go a little further up where Helene was, not quite that far. Orlando will get Category 1s. This is all from the Hurricane Center, the National Hurricane Center. So this is what they're reporting. All right, so lots of rain, possible tornadoes, storm surge, tides. Bad. Bad. And we are going to cover it fairly based on data. So Helene, they say now might cost the U.S. government $50 billion. All right, my God. And many of the people hurt by Hurricane Helene did not have flood insurance, so they're wiped out. Federal government will help them to some extent. But here's how it affects all of us. So even if you live in Alaska, it's about as far away from Florida as you can get, okay, all insurance rates are going up. Every storm that hits, insurance companies all over the country raise their home insurance and car insurance rates too, saying, hey, we got to pay these claims and we got to make the money back somewhere. That's how it really gets us. All right, let's all say prayers. I mean that literally, that the people in the hurricane zone do not get hurt that badly. Folks, life is precious, you know that, which is why I keep my Patriot Supply's 4-week emergency food kit here at home. I've got everything my family could need, with more than 2,000 calories a day and shelf life of 25 years. It's ready with enough to go around for whenever the next disaster strikes. And you know it will. Now, we've seen mass panic, some not that long ago in the streets. I'm not going to take my family's safety for granted, are you? Right now, you can get $50 off the same 4-week emergency food kit supply that I have in my house. Go to preparelikebill.com. Save $50 on your 4-week emergency food kit, and My Patriot Supply will send it over as fast as humanly possible. Trust me, my order showed up in 1 day, and it shipped free. Get your 4-week emergency food kit now at preparelikebill.com. That's preparelikebill.com. All right, tomorrow on our YouTube channel, we have our own official YouTube channel here. It is youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly. youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly. Best part about it, it's free. Okay, you go there, and tomorrow I'm going to do late night politics, whether it matters anymore and what really is going on behind the scenes. So we'll drop that, late tomorrow afternoon, something like that. But sign up for our YouTube channel and you can watch it whenever you want. Okay, let's go to the mail. Scott Ellisor, Weatherford, Texas. Vice President Harris continues to say the wealthy need to pay their fair share. What does she mean by fair share? She doesn't know. It means anything they want it to mean. So Bernie Sanders go in for 90% of your stuff, maybe more. He's a communist. All right, he's a senator from Vermont, but he's a communist. He wants to seize your stuff. Harris not a communist, and they call her that, but she's not. But she'll do what she's told. So who's ever running the White House, if they want, 65, 70% of your salary, and, they want a wealth tax, they want unrealized gains. Fair share means whatever they want it to mean. There's never a definition of it. Dano on the message board. One of the best things President Trump did was give the middle finger to 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes is a dinosaur show. Nobody watches. Beside the people that tune in to watch are not going to vote for Trump. 60 Minutes is a healthy audience in today's environment. Okay, they do pretty well. And I think some people who watch 60 Minutes would vote for Trump. But he thinks he's ahead. I mean, he's not going to go into unfriendly venues now. I hope he does an interview with me. I asked him today to do an interview with me. First time I've asked him for almost a year. But things are going down now to the nub. So I said, hey, I'd like to chat with you. We got many, many more viewers than any network show or any cable show. Many more because of YouTube. So can you give me a half hour or so? I hope he does. I don't know. He's busy. I understand. He thinks I'm a wise guy. I'm certainly not going to be a cupcake, but it would be fair because I've interviewed him, got to be 20 times, right? All his interviews have been fair, even when I scolded him about John McCain and things like that. So we hope he does it. Joe on a message board, weakest candidate I've ever witnessed, and I'm old. Kamala Harris seems to be in serious trouble. Politics has never concerned me until now. I think Ms. Harris is in some trouble. And I get in with this with Hannity. I got some numbers, and I gave you the numbers earlier about popular vote and things like that. I gave them to Hannity, and it's posted on BillO'Reilly.com. Rich Smith, Williamsburg, Michigan. I understand your position, O'Reilly, on gender in the polls, but I asked what percentage of the voting population are women? Well, there are more women registered to vote than men, but that does not matter because nobody knows who's going to turn out in any election. So you don't poll on what happened in the past. You poll on likely voters. If it's 1 or 2 points, women over men in the polling, I'm okay with that. Not 5 or 6. That skews it. Maurice, concierge member. Maurice has a direct line to me. He can ask me anything he wants, and we will help Maurice and his family any way we can. That's concierge membership on BillO'Reilly.com. Everyone should believe Kamala Harris when she says her values haven't changed. That was hard code for I promise all the flip-flops that I'm saying, but I'll change when I get into office. I believe that. Could be wrong, but I believe she is doing that to get elected. Bernie Sanders agrees with me, as you know. Florence Hiscock, Pulaski, New York. I have to say most of my friends are pro-life, but they dislike Donald Trump because of his morals and arrogance. Many of them are not going to vote for president this year, but will just vote down ticket. That's a good thing for Trump. Okay? If you hate Trump and you're not voting for Harris, it's good for Trump. Sal Manfredi, Rockaway, New Jersey. Hey, Bill, I'm 31, and I've gotten much more involved with politics because of you. My question, in your opinion, who's the greatest presidential candidate to never win the presidency? I had to think about this, Sal. That's a good question, and I'm glad you're involved with politics. Who was the person, all right, who could have been a great president who decided not to run or was defeated? And my answer is General George Patton. He was going to run for president until he wound up dead in post-war Europe, which is why you want to read Killing Patton. That's my answer to that question. But now that's an excellent question. I have to think about that. Luke Cajon, Draper, Utah. I'm in an international relations class, and I want to know your take on what would Iran, Russia, and China do to their enemies if Kamala Harris gets elected? Would Iran use nuclear power? Will China take Taiwan? I don't know. But certainly our enemies abroad don't fear Kamala Harris. Maybe they will if she wins and does something, but I doubt it. And they do fear Donald Trump. That I can say with 100% certainty. Donald Fields, Reynoldsburg, Ohio. Love confronting the presidents. We always like to hear that. I knew James Buchanan and Andrew Jackson were not great. Andrew Johnson, I should say. I'm sorry. Andrew Johnson were not great presidents. But after reading those chapters, I find it somewhat amazing the country made it through that era. If not for Lincoln, there's no doubt we wouldn't be here today. Wouldn't be a United States if not for Abraham Lincoln. I'm certain of that. Bobby Navarro, Gilbert, Arizona, thank you for the amazing political mug collection. We love this. I'm in Laos, and they are displayed in my kitchen back home. Over here, I am reading Confronting the Presidents. You're a blessing to all Americans with the No Spin News. Thank you, Bobby. So you're in Laos, which is a country just south of China in Southeast Asia. Never been there. Would love to go. And you've got the mugs back home in Arizona. And you got the book in Southeast Asia. Excellent. All right, we got you. We got those mugs for you. We just showed them for you, but they're in the store. We got a great price. Good gifts, good memorabilia. You know, grab those mugs. And then we got, Confronting the Presidents continues to be a hot book all across the country. But I recommend you become or re-up premium member or concierge member. You get the book free. Okay, that's the greatest deal. And, please think about it. And then I mentioned George Patton. We have the leather-bound limited edition of Killing Patton, which is a fabulous gift. Fabulous. Word of the day not be a SOP, S-O-P, SOP. Back with a final thought in a moment. The Federal Reserve has dropped interest rates, so you need to call my friends at American Financing today. With mortgage rates in the 4s, it's a perfect time to consolidate debt and reduce your monthly expenses. Now, many of us have been forced to use credit cards due to the cost of groceries, utilities, even childcare. And thanks to insanely high credit card rates, that debt becomes even more expensive. But American Financing helps homeowners, just like you, save more than $800 a month on average. They're even closing in as fast as 10 days. You can close it all in 10 days. And if you start today, you might be able to delay the next 2 mortgage payments. There's no upfront fees. To find out how much you can save, please call American Financing, 888-462-9557, 888-462-9557, AmericanFinancing.net/bill. You didn't vote for this economy, but you're paying for it at the pump, the grocery store, and through that stack of unpaid bills. Financial stress crushing. The solution? donewithdebt.com. Unlike the others, Done with Debt has new aggressive strategies that free you from debt without bankruptcy or loans. They will negotiate with your creditors so that you'll have more money in your pocket from month 1 and every month until you're debt free. And the best news, Done with Debt is accepting new clients. But don't wait. Some of their debt strategies are time sensitive. Let Done with Debt hit the debt reset button for you and make your money yours again. But again, this is time sensitive. So visit donewithdebt.com or call 888-322-1054 right now. Chat with one of their debt relief strategists for free. Go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. So here is the final thought of the day. So there was a series of bad things that happened in the O'Reilly orbit recently, not to me, but to other people who I care about. And people come to me and I try to help them. That is my Christian duty. I don't blow them off. I don't ghost them. I don't lie to them. If you are in my orbit, I try to help you, which is what concierge membership is all about. Anyway, some of these problems are pretty complicated. All of them are very emotional. All of them are devastating to the people experiencing them. So I take a 24-hour, and sometimes it's disconcerting to tell people that, but I said, give me a day to think about it. And I try to impose this on myself, too. So something bad happens to you, and it happens to everybody in the whole world. Take a day. Pen, paper, writing stuff down, thinking about it. You need to get a little time to see a pathway. Doesn't come instantly, especially when you're emotional. Got to tamp down the emotion. Tragedy is part of life. Take a day. And then after a day, some clarity will come. And then I can tell people, look, here's what we're going to do. Here's the stairway to solving the problem or mitigating the problem. It's very important that you know that. Don't like that. Always get yourself in trouble. I do. Every time I react emotionally, I get in trouble. Every single time. Deep breath, take a day. Thank you for watching No Spin News and listening on our radio affiliates all across the country. See you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.